Let's see, what do I do today? Maybe I'll watch some YouTube videos. Holy crap, it's Friday the 7th. Got an alien invasion in 2 weeks. I gotta pack, I got a shuttle to catch. Come on, Skippy, we gotta get going. We got a shuttle. We gotta catch the shuttle. We're heading to Neptune. We gotta pack, what do we need? Oh, I'll take my iPad. I need that. Oh, Kindred, that's a good book. Bring that with me. Throw that in there. Okay, what else? Oh, Illuminate. It's a long journey to Neptune. Good 500 plus page book would be good to bring with. What else? What should we bring, Skippy? Some socks. Need some socks. Maybe get some snacks. Dog treats? Should we bring some dog treats with us? All right, I'm all packed and ready for my journey to Neptune. Hi, Skippy. Wish us luck. So it's day 1 of Tome Infinity and Beyond, readathon, and I'm beginning with Illuminate, book 1 in the Illuminate files, Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. This is my 500 plus page book for my journey to Neptune. So far I'm 25 pages into Illuminate. And we're following 2 main characters, Katie and her ex-boyfriend, Ezra. They've just broken up right before a biotech corporation attacked the Carenza colony where they were working or living on. And it's a mining colony. They mine some kind of substance called hermium, of which we don't know what it's good for, but apparently biotech wants it. And they didn't just blast away at the colony. They also sent in some kind of biochemical agent. It's like a black misty fog that was settling on some of the buildings and things. Don't know what effect that caused, but both Katie and Ezra described it. During the attack, Ezra gets injured. Katie manages to meet back up with him and rescue him, and they end up on separate ships. He's on a battle cruiser that's been damaged. It has a wormhole technology, but that's been damaged, so they can't, just jump to a different location. And Katie is on one of the 2 civilian transports. So now it's discussed that they have to make their way to the next static jump point, which is going to take about 6.5 to 7 months to reach. So that's about where we are so far in the book. Both Katie and Ezra kind of annoy me with the interviews that are taking place in the beginning. They're being separate interviews because they're on separate ships, describing the attack and things like that. And you can tell they're young. They were both about 17, 18 years old because they seem to keep interjecting the descriptions of the attack with the arguments they had with each other right before they broke up and stuff. And it's like, seriously, get your priorities straight, but we'll see how it goes.
It's raining outside. Plus we're on a spaceship, Skippy. We can't go walking.
So Katie and Ezra are each on one of these 3 ships in the book, and they're very short-handed of personnel, so they're conscripting people 17 and up for various duties. Ezra ends up being for a pilot, so he's trained in that field. Katie, on the other hand, is not conscripted at all. She's deemed to be very anti-establishment, doesn't work well with others, but she starts kind of hacking into computer systems and poking around and trying to find out information, because they're not given a lot of information. And then something happens. They're being pursued by one of these biotech ships called the Lincoln, and the Copernicus, one of the civilian ships, ends up becoming under attack. Many of the people on board the Copernicus are killed, almost the entire thing. A few people are rescued and brought back onto the Alexandria, but Katie, poking around, begins to suspect something else has happened. Was it really the Lincoln that attacked? Did people from Alexandria attack Copernicus for some reason? Something's going on. So it's getting kind of intriguing. It's a little sometimes tedious reading the way this is put out with the various little emails and stuff. But it's starting to build some interest in me and wondering what's going on. Is there something hidden beneath the scenes that we don't know about yet? So we'll see. All right, it is currently Wednesday afternoon. Skippy and I arrived on Neptune Tuesday night, quite late. And I finished my book Illuminate, Volume 1 of the Illuminate Files by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. So that was my 500 plus page book I had to read while I was on Shuttle A en route to Neptune. It was good. It's, again, an epistolary novel told through emails and very strange formats. Sometimes it was interesting, sometimes it was a little frustrating. You have black pages where a computer's talking to you, and yeah, it gets pretty bizarre. But it was off to a little bit of a rocky start, and then it was pretty much a smooth flight. Pardon the metaphor there. But anyway, yeah, I wasn't too sure about the dialogue and the two main characters, a young couple that broke up just before their sort of tiny speck of an ice planet colony is invaded by a warship that wants to steal the stuff that they're mining. The dialogue was a bit weird between them, but it ends up sort of a love story between the two over the midst of this sort of big space chase as a ship ends up pursuing their evacuating ships, and things that's happened with a virus on board and a crazy computer and all sorts of great characters, and it was adventurous and intriguing and some twists near the end, and yeah, I've already set aside book 2, so I'm looking forward to picking that up if I should ever return to Earth. But in the meantime, I'm on Neptune, so as you can tell, it's been several hours since I finished that one. Skippy and I have been looking around, not really thrilled with the planet. I think we'll probably be moving on to Mars, but before I can do that, I have to read my next book, and I've chosen Kindred by Octavia Butler. This is the book I have to read. That's a science fiction with fantasy elements, or a fantasy book with science fiction elements. I've never read anything by this author, but I usually hear it gets pretty favorable reviews, so I'm looking into trying this one out. It's got kind of time travel back to antebellum South by this young woman here, and the danger she faces as she keeps getting pulled back and forth in time. So yeah, I'm going to go check that one out now. Hey guys, well, it's Wednesday. Today's my birthday, actually. Early birthday present. Isn't that great? So anyway, with regards to the readathon, Kindred by Octavia Butler, I actually finished this late Monday, and it's a tough book to kind of pigeonhole into any specific genre. I mean, yeah, there's the science fiction element of the time travel, but yet it's more of a fantastical, like a fantasy type genre, because it's not a time travel like because of a machine, like the time machine. It's some kind of supernatural event that takes place that causes this to happen. And yet it's also part historical fiction because of the nature we find ourselves back in, I think it's like 1815 in the antebellum South during the height of slavery on a plantation. And we follow our main character, a 26-year-old African-American woman by the name of Dana. She's married to a white man by the name of Kevin. And something causes her to be yanked from her time, 1976, back into 1815, within her own family background, into her ancestral home. And we find out a bit about her past and her family line, and she's brought back because of some event that happens to a young boy by the name of Rufus. When his life is in danger, somehow he calls to her through the timelines. He can almost see her, like, right before she's yanked back to save him from whatever happens to him. And this happens like 6 times within the book. And she ends up saving his life. And as the first meeting, it's fairly quick. She saves him from drowning. The mother's screaming at him, thinking that she's trying to do something to harm her boy, even though she's yanked him out of the water. She's trying to do what she thinks is CPR. She's never been trained to do it, but she manages to save him. Then the father shows up, pulls a gun on her, and she thinks she's about to be shot. And in that moment of her fearing her death, she's yanked back to her own time. And that's what happens repeatedly within the book. Although the time that she is gone in 1976, that gap, she disappears, in fact, right in front of her husband's eyes, is very brief. It's almost like seconds, and she appears slightly in a different location than she was. So she's traveling within time and a bit within space as well. But it seemed a lot longer to her when she was back in 1815, and those timelines get longer and longer, days, months, years. She knows about the history of slavery. She's read about it, and her understanding of it is completely different from when she's experiencing it firsthand, and the dangers involved for her every time she's there. And it was just captivating. From the very first sentence you read, in the prologue here, it's told from first person. I lost an arm on my last trip home, my left arm. And it doesn't get to the explanation of that till the very end. And it was an interesting, the kind of metaphor for that loss. what she left behind, and in a way what she brought back with her from those trips. It's harrowing. It's themes of slavery. There's violence. It's depicted through her eyes as what she sees and what she experiences firsthand. It's a book that'll stick with you when you finish reading it. Yeah, I highly recommend it. So I've already started reading my third book. So I'm on Mars. I've made my next planet hop. I'm reading Collision by Rachel Ox. This is an independent author. I've read several of her books before. I've loved them all. And I'm already several pages into it. There's no physical copy to show you, but I'll include a picture again just to remind you what the cover looks like. This is the first part of a trilogy, and it's a sort of alien races kind of fighting against each other, and end up, they're on Earth, and our main character Sienna discovers, these alien beings, and she sort of has to go off with one group of them because otherwise they'll threaten to kill her because they don't want their existence on the planet known. So there's parts of it that I've already hit that seem to be kind of pushed, like they're speeding along a little too fast for me. I like to get to know the character a bit more, get to know a little bit about, I guess, the aliens. But it seems like the time frame is zipping along a little bit faster than I expected. But we'll see how the rest plays out. Okay, today is Friday the 21st, so this is the last day of the readathon. I'm still reading Collision by Rachel Ox. I'm about 39% into the book, so currently the time is 5 o'clock in the evening, and I don't think I'm going to finish the book in time. But I'm enjoying it a lot more now. Like I said, the beginning felt a bit rushed with events that were taking place, and I don't like that. I like it to kind of unfold a little bit slower than that. Not that I don't want action and all that to take place. There's action, but it's like the relationship between some characters kind of sped along a little bit faster than I anticipated, and it's like I wanted to get to know the characters a little bit more first. But it doesn't matter now because, like most of her books, I really enjoy the characters that she creates, and the plots just driving the story now quite a bit, with like two alien races on Earth. One apparently drove the other aliens off their planet, and then they chased them down to Earth, and now they're trying to get them off of Earth. But I kind of wonder what their motivation is. What do they care what happens to Earth? The humans are sort of having to join forces with that group. I'm hoping they're going to be good to the end, because the people that we were kind of getting to know, I'm getting to like them. So if I find out they have ulterior motives, I'm not going to be happy. But again, this is the first book in a trilogy, so we'll have to see what happens. But I am enjoying it quite a bit. So whether I finish in time for the readathon, stay tuned. Okay, well, the readathon ended yesterday. I got about 57%. I'm getting tangled up with Skippy's leash here. I got 57% into my third book, so basically my journey ended on Mars after 2.5 books. It was fun. It was nice dipping my toe back into science fiction. It's been a while since I've read it. Although Kindred didn't quite feel like sci-fi in the way I see it more, spaceships, aliens, colonies on other planets, that kind of thing. Kindred had that time travel element, but it didn't have it in a mechanical sort of way. It was some kind of supernatural transportation, so you didn't really feel that science fiction aspect of it. It felt more like a historical fiction to me. But anyway, I really enjoyed it, but I'm going to finish Collision, my third book, and I'll eventually continue that series as well, because I'm really enjoying that. But October is coming up, so I'm going to be really shifting gears here, and it's going to be a Victorian kind of month for me, because Victober's coming up, so I want to participate in that reading event. And also Sherlocktober, hosted by Steve Donahue on his channel, so we'll be reading selections from the Sherlock Holmes canon, and that'll be fun. It's been quite some time since I've read any Sherlock Holmes, so look forward to that. I'll post a video on that and my selections for it as well. So just out here walking with Skippy. She's kind of down there. And yeah, I'm gonna head home afterwards and try and finish up my third book. But I hope you guys enjoyed this vlog. Thanks for sticking with us, and see you later. Bye-bye.